Oppressed, inferior, and unequal. What comes to your mind when these words are spoken? For many people, these are the first words that come to mind when thinking about women in Islam. These stereotypes confuse Islam with cultural practices and fail to recognize that Islam has empowered women with the most progressive rights since the 7th century. So, on my way back home from college, the cab driver and I had a very interesting conversation. He had so many questions regarding Muslim women. My burqa was stuck in the door as it was a big bag. So he asked me so many questions. The first question was, why do you Muslim cover so much? Why is it a compulsion for you to cover so much? Why are you not liberated and why are you oppressed? Why don't Muslim women have rights like the other women in the world? And this question, the question of rights, stunned me. I was quiet for minutes. He looked at me in the mirror, repeated the same question. Then I answered. I didn't know what to answer, how to answer, anything. But I did. Because he was wrong. The Quran was revealed 1400 years ago to a man named Muhammad, who would later become the prophet, the last prophet, At a time when female children were buried alive in Arabia, they were killed. The joy was not celebrated like it was for the boys. They were considered transferable property. That time, Islam honored them by elevating and protecting them with unprecedented rights. Islam gave women many rights: the right to education, to marry someone of their choice, to divorce, to retain their identity after marriage. They can have their own name, to work. They can work within the limits, within the boundaries of Islam, to own and sell the property. Khadija radiallahu ta'ala, the first wife of Prophet, did business. She was a businesswoman. To seek protection by the law and to participate in civil and political engagement. But no, the world has a different definition whenever they see a Muslim covered. When people see a covered Muslim woman, they think that this is oppression. But no, that's wrong. Muslim woman is not oppressed. In fact, she is liberated. Liberated in such a way that she is free to wear anything. It's just that her beauty is to be shown to her husband. Many Muslim women freely choose to dress modestly in order to avoid the public scrutiny, judgments, and social dynamics associated with physical appearance. Muslim women are falsely classified as oppressed based on their modest dress. They are in fact liberated from such objectification by the society around them. This modest appearance, which includes veiling, highlights a woman's personality and character instead of her physical figure and promotes a deeper appreciation for who she is as a person. Regarding mother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly gives mothers a high status and elevates their position in the family. They are the most important person in our life. They have to be treated with the utmost respect and love. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions all the sacrifices which a mother make in bearing a child, to remind people to treat their mothers with love, respect and care. Emphasizing the importance of mothers, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Heaven lies under the feet of your mother." Do you understand that? Nothing in the world is greater than your mother. If there was no mother, there was no you. Understand that. You are not allowed to say oof to your mother. They brought you in this world. You can never repay the favors. Islam has raised the status of women from the earth to the heaven. That heaven lies under the feet of your mother. Treat them well, treat your parents well, and will enter into Jannah. And Islam has given so many rights regarding inheritance. In pre-Islamic era, when the people were so backward, they didn't know anything about inheritance. When the women especially were deprived of inheritance, and they themselves were considered property to be inherited by men. Men used them the way they wanted. That time Islam gave women the right to own property and inherit from relatives, inherit from their brothers, their fathers, from everyone they can, which was a revolutionary concept in the 7th century. And when it comes to marriage, again woman has so many rights regarding marriage. She has the right to accept or reject marriage proposals, and her approval is required to complete the marriage contract. Without her approval, nothing can be done. They cannot do anything. She cannot be forced to marry someone against her will. And if this occurs for some cultural reasons, it is indirect opposition of Islam. By the same principle, women also have the right to seek divorce. If they are dissatisfied with their husband, with their marriage, they can ask for divorce. Islam always forbids harshness towards women. The Quran clearly mentioned that women are created from the rib of men, and if you try to change the shape of rib, if you ever try to change the shape of the rib, you will break it. Same is the situation with women. Islam teaches us to behave well with the woman in a manner, give her the love, the respect, and the softness she deserves. Islam always enforced to treat women with respect and never hurt them. Women are very precious and the most valuable creatures out of all the creatures of Allah. But no, despite all these teachings in Islam, it is of no secret that some ritual traditions are still prevalent in many Muslim societies. Even though the hijab is meant to be a symbol of modesty and social identity, there are innumerable societies where the parda is more of a cultural restriction than a matter of choice. Domestic violence against women is almost a norm in many societies where women don't come forward to claim their rights. However, the role of a woman has not only been shaped by Islamic texts but also by the history and culture of the Muslim world. Moreover, the issue of women in Islam has been viewed as highly controversial through the centuries. While it is believed that these revelations on women's liberation in the Quran made major improvements in the oppressed status of women in pre-Arab societies, the deterioration of this status took place soon after the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I would like to conclude this thing with the woman just by making a small dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the hidayah to follow which is right and protect us from everything that is forbidden. Ameen summa ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.